let's review this game. So the game started with Queen's Gambit decline and Black played knight f6. So usually the best move for Black is either e6 or c6 to support the d5 pawn. And later we can move the knight f6. And the reason is if we move the knight before pushing the pawn, white can exchange with the pawns. And if we take with the knight, white can push the e pawn, and white will have a very strong pair of center pawns connected. So yeah, white just set up a very good advantage at the center, and our knight will be kicked away. And if we take with the queen, white will move knight c3, kick our queen, and later push pawn to e4. White is still better. So this is something we need to be aware, even though that's a slight difference between the order of the moves. It does really matter. But during this game, white didn't utilize this mistake Black just made. White divided knight and Black played e6. And white pinned knight, bishop e7 to solve the pin, that's good. e3 and h6, bishop h4 and knight d7. So if I will play as Black, I will castle first, because I mean sooner or later we have to castle, otherwise our king staying in the center will be exposed, especially after the pawn exchange. So I will castle first, and later I will look at the board, look at how it goes, and decide should I move knight to d7, or probably I can push the c pawn and later move knight c6. So I can decide the position of the knight later before some moves which I have to move, for example castle. This is also a slight difference, but sometimes it makes a difference. And b6, so Black want to develop the light square bishop and potentially pushing the pawn to c5. But this move also has like weakness. So first of all, I would still recommend castling. The problem with b6 is this diagonal is becoming weak. It's hard to find, but actually if white take the knight, remembering we'll have a pawn at d5, we need to protect that, so we should take that with the knight, and after the exchange, and so yeah, if you take that with the pawn, white will check your king. Since we have a pawn at b6, we cannot push the pawn c6, so we will move bishop to d7, and later white can exchange with bishop. If you take that with the knight, you will lose d5. And if I take the queen, knight to e5, kick your queen have to run away. For example, d6, and queen a4 is coming. This diagonal is problematic. And if you play c6, you will lose the pawn. If you move king to f8, the position of the king is really bad. If you move knight to d7, I think white can win the d5 pawn. So white will be better. Okay, so b6, as I said, if we castle and later b6, this problem at this diagonal will not occur. So yeah, castle first. b6, exchange, and white didn't find the best move. And bishop d3, bishop b7. Now the game become equalized. And bishop to f5. This move is interesting. I think white wants to maybe exchange with the knight, but I don't see any reason for that. I mean, the light square bishop is a very good piece. It controls a lot of space. So after bishop to f5, I feel like we can choose either c5 to attack the center, and because the pawn at c7 is the hanging, so once it to c5, it can get support by 3 pieces, and also we can attack the center, or maybe move the knight to f6 and later to e5 to control the e5 square, to control the center. And yeah, but in this game, Black I think made a mistake, that is rook c8, because the knight become pinned. That's a problem. And now to knight e5, I think white is going to win material. So yeah, it's really hard to protect the knight. Bishop c5 will be captured. So yeah, I think white has won something out of it. So black has lost a knight and bishop, and a win like oh no. So black has lost a knight and a rook, and a win a pawn and a knight and a bishop. So white has up 1 point. Now the position favors white. Queen d4. This is a good move, offering queen exchange and yeah, control the center. Queen to d6. Queen to d6 is a little bit passive. I would like to move the queen to g5, aiming at the g2. Because we have a light square bishop, we can maybe c5 d4, open up this diagonal and attack g2. So queen d6 is a little bit like yeah, passive, and the white offer exchange. So actually the white queen has a very good position. I don't think it's best timing to offer the exchange. And also after the exchange, white have double pawn. This is not good pawn structure, and the game become equalized again. Even though white has up 1 pawn, black have like pawn majority at the queen side, and also these 4 pawns are connected. So black has a chance to make the game like favoring itself. So c5, rook f e1, so bishop c6. So well, one thing to be we need to be cautious. This is first of all the open file. First of all, since white has 2 rooks, black has 1 rook, so it's really hard for us to fight at the open file against our opponent. But we can still defend it. So for example, rook c7, maybe we will lose ea, but we can move like king to fa. I think I'm pretty sure we can do that. At least we can defend e7, and this is quite important. If white move the rook, top of the rook, we can move, for example, bishop c6, defending ea. With this rook to e1, we can move rook c7. So defending these squares are really important. Otherwise, white rook can move to e7, and that will be a problem. So in this game, black move bishop to c6. I'm pretty sure black wants to offer a rook exchange, but as I said, the rook will move to e7 and it will attack our pawn. It's really hard to offer exchange. a5, check the king. To be honest, I don't think checking the king is really helpful, because it's just help our opponent activate the king, right? So I'm still thinking king f8 to attack the rook. So hopefully we can get the e file back. If rook a to e1, we can move rook to e8. After exchange, we can still control the squares. So yeah, check the king to e1 and offering exchange. So rook to d2, f5, rook to no, f5 is I think f6 is better than f5, because at least after rook e1, king f7, we can guard these squares. The white rook cannot move to e5. But after f5, rook to e1, even though we move king to f7, rook e5 will lose one of the pawns. So rook e7, the rook, yeah, once the rook moves to 7th rank, it's super active, and it can attack all of pawns. For example, we will lose b6 pawn, and once b6 pawn is lost, this pawn structure will be destroyed. This connecting pawn will be destroyed, and now white is way better, and white win another pawn. Huge, yeah. So now white has up 1 pawn and a rook against the bishop. White has huge advantage. So I think now black doesn't have any chance to get a draw. Yeah, this is a huge advantage, pass pawn. Okay, so we don't have to work through the rest of the game. So first of all, 2 things in openings. Castle first, make the king safe, and also think about the center like this. So I would recommend castle first, and later, yeah, push the pawn. And also at the very first beginning, move the pawn first instead of the knight. And after bishop f5, I think we made a mistake that we make our knight pin. This is not good. So we should either improve the knight or attack the center. So after losing the rook, yeah, queen g5. Queen d6 is no problem, but maybe queen g5 is better. And after trading a queen, I think we have the chance to equalize the game, but we lose the e file very soon. So that's why we lost the whole game. And that's it.